It was 6 a.m. on a crisp autumn morning when the pounding on our front door jolted me awake. "Open up. This is an emergency," a shrill voice bellowed. I stumbled downstairs, heart racing, only to find Karen, our HOA president, standing there like a storm cloud, phone pressed to her ear as she barked into it. "Yes, officer, there's a trespasser in this house right now. Send someone quick, she doesn't belong here." My wife, Sophia, peeked out from behind me, still in her pajamas, her face pale with confusion. This was our home, for God's sake. But Karen wasn't done. She accused Sophia of breaking in, claiming she was some unauthorized squatter. The irony? By the end of this nightmare, it was Karen who'd be staring down eviction papers, her empire crumbling around her. Ever dealt with an HOA bully who thinks they're above the law? Stick around, this tale of revenge might just make you question if these neighborhood tyrants deserve the power they wield. Let me back up. I'm David, 45, and I work as an industrial maintenance supervisor. 3 years ago, I bought this cozy house in Oak Ridge Estates for $295,000. It's a quiet suburb, or so I thought, with HOA fees at $180 a month to keep things pristine. Then I married Sophia, 38, a dedicated pediatric ICU nurse who's seen more heartbreak in a shift than most people do in a lifetime. Her move-in day should have been joyful boxes stacked, laughter echoing, but that's when the trouble started. Karen, 58 and retired from the county assessor's office, had ruled as HOA president for 4 years like a petty dictator. She was obsessed with rules, measuring grass heights with a ruler, fining folks for the tiniest infractions. The moment Sophia pulled up with her moving truck, Karen swooped in like a vulture. "That's overnight parking. And what's this commercial equipment?" she snapped, pointing at Sophia's medical bag full of scrubs and stethoscopes. Before we could explain, she slapped us with a $150 fine, ignoring our marriage certificate and the deed proving Sophia lived there. "Rules are rules," she sneered, then whispered loud enough for neighbors to hear. "This looks suspicious. I'll be watching." She even threatened to report us to the county, implying we were running some shady operation. Sophia, humiliated in front of gawking onlookers, just wanted to pay the fine and move on. But I refused. Why bow to a bully enforcing nonsense selectively? Things escalated fast. Karen filed a code enforcement complaint, accusing us of turning the house into an illegal boarding house. The inspector laughed it off after a quick visit, but that didn't stop her. Anonymous calls flooded Sophia's hospital, questioning her professional conduct and hinting at scandals. Creepy notes appeared in our mailbox. "We know what you're hiding." Then came the vandalism. Sophia's car keyed in our driveway, deep scratches spelling out, "Get out." Karen denied it all, but we knew. She hired a private investigator to tail Sophia, filed more complaints to the city and hospital, even tried to get her nursing license revoked by spreading lies about patient endangerment. It was ruthless, crossing into dangerous territory. Could one woman's ego really justify sabotaging a nurse saving kids' lives? The controversy boiled. Was this just HOA overreach or outright criminal harassment in the name of community standards? I dove into the HOA bylaws, a dense 47-page tome hit patered. Karen's own property violated half a dozen rules. Her fence towered over the 6-foot limit, and she built a $15,000 unpermitted deck. Citing the selective enforcement clause, I filed complaints against her and demanded an emergency board meeting. She showed up fuming, but when I laid out the evidence, she stormed out, yelling threats. Digging deeper, I requested financial records. Boom, $47,000 funneled to Evergreen Landscapes LLC, owned by Karen's husband, with no bids or approvals. It was a pattern. Payments spiked whenever someone challenged her, overcharging residents about $400 a year each. This wasn't incompetence, it was fraud, siphoning community funds for personal gain. I looped in attorney Emily Rodriguez, who explained the breach of fiduciary duty and how the harassment opened Karen to massive liability. This could bankrupt her, Emily said. Allies emerged. Neighbor Mike, an accountant, crunched the numbers. Reporter Lisa Wong sniffed out a story. Detective Hayes reviewed the harassment logs. We documented everything. CC Sandazist letters, complaints to authorities. I went door to door, inviting residents to a meeting and sharing proof. Karen panicked. Our mailbox was smashed, garage graffiti read, "Liar." More calls to the hospital. Even flyers accusing me of harassing a widow. But security footage caught her red-handed in the vandalism, and support Swelita group chat buzzed with outrage, neighbors publicly tossing her flyers in the trash. The community split. Some defended Karen as a strict but fair leader, others called her a corrupt thief abusing power. Was exposing her worth the backlash? Or should we have let sleeping tyrants lie? The climax hit at the HOA meeting. 28 households packed the room, tension thick as fog. Mike presented the fraud evidence: inflated invoices, missing receipts. Sophia, voice steady but eyes fierce, detailed the harassment, the false reports endangering her career, the vandalism terrorizing our home. Votes poured in. Remove Karen as president, demand restitution, ban her husband's company forever. Detective Hayes stepped up, warning of criminal charges for embezzlement and stalking. Karen exploded, screaming about lawsuits and ungrateful peasants, before bolting out the door. The room erupted in applause and whispers: had we just toppled a mini-dictator or sparked a neighborhood war? The next morning, I served her lien and criminal referral papers myself. She opened the door, smug at first, but her face drained of color. Hours later, Detective Hayes arrested her for filing false reports, harassment, and vandalism. Neighbors lined the street, some cheering, others shaking heads in disbelief. Karen ranted about countersuits, but cuffs silenced her. 6 months on, Karen pleaded guilty, coughing up $65,000 in restitution and selling her house to flee the shame. Mike took over as president, slashing fees with transparent books. HOA funds now fuel a scholarship and new playground drill. Community good, not pockets lined. Lisa's expose won awards, spurring a state law mandating HOA audits. Our neighborhood thrives, bonds forged in fire. Looking back, Karen's own words haunt. Rules keep us civilized. Yet her corruption exposed the dark side of HOA spower, unchecked breeding tyrants. If you've battled one, share your story. Who knows? It might inspire the next takedown.